All right, guys, we got sand, we got pipe, we got a skid steer, we got a track hoe, we got Captain Cleaning. Can anybody guess what we're doing today? Do you know what we're doing today?
Yep. We are putting in a boat dock.
No, we're not putting in a boat dock.
Hilltop Marina.
It's kind of the opposite of a boat dock, really. We're trying to evacuate water, not hold water.
That's right. All
right, guys, we got another Presby septic system going in, and Captain and I are going to hit this thing pretty hard. We got weather moving in tonight, so we're going to try to get this bed in. I don't know if I've covered this real well in the past videos, but basically we're laying off the bed. We actually have to do this to get the permit, but it's been a while since we laid this one off, so the marks are gone. But the bed has to be on contour, so we got to shoot grade marks and get it laid out to where we, whenever I say on contour, we got to excavate 4 inches and we got to do it evenly across the bed. So, what's this bed? 16 by 62?
16 by 62.
So basically we got to find a 16 by 62 elevation, 16 by 62 area on contour. Now it can slope up, but from this end to that end it needs to be the same. So we're gonna get that laid out and we'll start stripping dirt. All right, guys, I don't know if you can see it, we got flags. I say we, Captain Cleaning's got flags out here. We got it all laid off and all on contour. We'll try to do this video a little bit different. We're gonna try to do a fast-paced step-by-step video. You up for that?
No!
Well, if you don't work fast, I can just speed the video up to make it look like you work fast.
If you guys don't like this, switch over to another channel. I can't really think any offhand, but
I can think of one, but the channel's about as good as his work ethic. It's not good when you can't make a joke and you can't speak properly.
in a bad flow state.
All right, let's strip some dirt. All right, guys, here's what she looks like all excavated out. A couple things. One, you always want to use a tooth bucket. You kind of want to rip it and get that ground loosened up. We're getting pretty late in the year right now and you got to worry about the ground being too wet. You can take this and roll it in your hand and it makes a little snake. It's too wet. This is getting some moisture in it, but it's still good. We're still good. State inspector will be fine with the moisture content in that. So I don't know when this video will be up. This is towards the end of November, so it's getting pretty late in the season to pop one of these things in. But the next thing we got to do is we'll come back in this area and we're going to lay a 6-inch sand bed down. I'll throw it in here with the track hoe. Captain will man the rake, and depending on how much of a hard time it gives me, it depends on how much you have to rake.
I guess I need to go get the rake up.
All right, sand it is. Let's go. Alrighty guys, there's the fan bed in. It turned out absolutely magnificent. Beautiful job. I don't know if it's good enough to take a nap. So the next thing is we got to get our pipes in here on the bed. So they will be 1.5 feet off the top of the bed. There'll be 3 runs of 60. So we'll start getting those laid out, get them in place, and carry on. Alright guys, I got all the pipes laid out, assembled, and end caps on them. Real important to remember, the fin goes up. These couplers, they're better than the old style. The old style used to have zip ties and these snap together. But they're still kind of a pain in the butt, and a lot of it has to do with this multiple layers of stuff they got. But I did see this for the first time on one of these systems. Some idiot proofing. This side up, fin goes up, diaper goes down. So the next thing we'll need to do is we'll need to make sure that pipe is on grade all the way across the bed, and then we'll get our plumbing in the end. We only dug 4 inches of material out of here, and we got to get 6 inches of fill back on top of this. So Kleeman's in the process of hauling us in some dirt, so we'll have enough dirt to call it up. So we'll get him in here and get him dumped, and then we'll be back to plumbing. We got to put that interceptor drain in here. That's got to be about 10 feet off of the bed. So we'll probably dump him up here high. We can always take the skid steer or the trico and reach it. So dumper. Nice. Okay, we're gonna tie into our plumbing here, and it's really simple. So on the end of this run, on the other end, that's where it's gonna gravity feed into the tank. We'll talk about that more when we get down here. So this line is gonna come down, we're gonna loop it around, send it into that one, and then eventually on that end we'll loop it around, send it back, and then this one here will get what they call our low vent. Now whenever I do this, I'm gonna cut a piece of pipe that'll go in here about 18 inches. So that way it makes it all nice and solid and pretty and everything. So I'll sit you guys up here, let you watch real quick. We'll get this end plumbed up, and then we'll show you what we got. All right, guys, there's this end all plumbed up. Pipe goes in here 12 to 18 inches. Whenever I push down on this, it holds that pipe up tight. That one loops around into that one. And this one comes out into the double elbow drain. That's what they call the lower vent. So we'll head down there for now. We're just gonna loop those two together. And long story short, we're kind of against the weather here a little bit today. I can put the tank in the mud. I cannot put the bed in the mud. So we're trying to get this bed in so we can get an inspection this afternoon. So in case it rains tonight, we're still good to go. So that's what we're going to focus on. All right, guys, for right now, that's basically all we got. So this hole here is where the water will come in from the tank, go down, loop around, come back this one, loop around, and to the vent. So what we need to do now is we need to make sure this pipe is on grade from one end of the bed to the other, and we'll use our spacers to make sure the other two follow suit. So I'm going to follow the laser up here, and we'll go down through there and set that booger to grade and start covering her up with sand. Alright guys, basically what I like to do is go down through here with the laser. We'll check the ends and the middle of pretty much every pipe. It's really close. Every pipe on the top row here, and then it's never a bad idea to double check the other ones, but this top pipe, usually if you get this top pipe good, you're in pretty good shape. And it don't have to be straight. It don't have to be straight, it just needs to be on contour. That's the main thing. So, and we are really close. I'm gonna go back and tweak just a few spots and I think we'll be good to go. All right guys, we got everything checked on grade. Pretty happy with that. Tweaked just a few little spots, nothing too major. I got these spacers built. All this is a 2x6 with a 2x6 in between it. It's enough width for that pipe. It basically holds the center of that pipe and the center of that pipe 1.5 feet apart, which is supposed to happen. I've got 2 of them, so what I'll do is I'll dump sand here and then just keep leapfrogging them down, and we'll probably check grade as we leapfrog down. The other thing you need to check before you backfill is this has to be 1 foot from the edge of the bed. We are actually the edge of the bed, about right there. So we are good. 1.5 feet from the top of the bed, we're about 18 inches. Actually, we're about 20 inches, I mean, so we're good there. And then on the other end, the same way, we need to be 1 foot from the edge. This bed slopes, so we gotta be on the upper side. If this bed was flat, we'd be in the middle. So hopefully that all makes sense. Let's get some sand on it. I guess I should point out that basically what we have to do is encase these pipes in 6 inches of sand. So 6 inches of sand on the end, we'll fill up the middle, 6 inches of sand on the top, and then the same thing over here. So the spacers will hold it in place, and that's what we're gonna do now. Cover up with sand. Let's do it. All right guys, one thing I didn't explain real well while I was talking is whenever you put this sand down in there, we got those spacers there, you see me moving, and it's really important to, and you'll kind of see me do it here a few times, to just barely sprinkle it over the top, and you just want to kind of make sure you get those pipes set in there. If you just go and just dump that sand in there, it'll spread the pipes out, they won't be on grade. You'll have inspection issues, and then even worse than that, you may end up with some septic issues. I don't know if it's really worth the effort of raking it around like I'm doing. I'm just trying to make it look pretty so the inspector asks less questions when they show up, and you gotta take some pride in your work, right? But yeah, just and then the other thing is, you see I got the laser stick I keep with me there. I'm checking it as I go. The main thing is just making sure those things stay on grade from one end to the other whenever you're going down through there. So combination of dumping the sand in there nice and gently, keeping your spacers going ahead of you, and then keeping everything raked down. And then, like I said, you got to make sure you keep the 6 inches of sand encased all the way around. It's not real difficult. I pretty much did this all of myself in about 45 minutes or so. You just kind of got to take your time and make sure everything falls into place, and get her all raked out, and then we will move on to the next step. But this is a pretty important step here, is making sure these pipes get encased properly with sand. They stay on grade, and everything stays in place like it's supposed to. So we got her done. Looks good. All right guys, the bed is pretty much ready for inspection. We got everything covered up. I got the ends exposed. Basically waiting on the inspector to show up and give us the okay on that before we start covering anything up. But while we're waiting on that, we're going to work on the perimeter drain, or what the state calls the interceptor drain, which basically what it is on the upper side of the bed, we got to come 10 foot off the bed, which is what that mark is. And it depends on the seasonal high water table and what type of system you're putting in. But basically, for what we're doing here, we got to go 36 inches deep. So we're going to dig a trench 36 inches deep. We'll lay sock pipe in the bottom of it, and then we'll daylight it out over the hill. And basically what the purpose of that is if there's any water filtering through the ground, this pipe will intercept it, hint, interceptor drain, and keep it from flooding the field. And it'll take that water and evacuate it on down around the corner there. So I got my fancy trench and bucket on that I built, and you guys have seen that a few different times in a couple different videos. But we're going to take off down through there. It's got to be on a minimum of 0.02% slope. So we'll start off with 36 inches here and then drop about 2 inches every 30-40 feet, whatever the math works out to be. So well, let's make her happen. Alrighty guys, there she is. We got our trench dug. It turned out rather nice. Got everything on grade and proper depth and all that good stuff. So the next thing is the obvious. Put the pipe in the trench. There's what she looks like down the trench there. Absolutely nothing fancy. I kind of went down there and double checked it a few times with some laser shots. Everything looks pretty good, so time to backfill her. That trench will get filled to the top with sand. All right guys, this is how we will leave it for the inspector. Basically what we do is we leave 3 spots where she can come in and check depth and slope. So we got beginning, middle, and end right here. Then once it gets past into the bed, we're kind of on our own. We just got to get it daylighted out. So that's it. We are pretty much at a standstill until we get to go ahead and do anything else. So I'm gonna get some loose ends tidied up here and we'll wait for an inspector. Guys, it's getting dark on me, so it's hard to film, and the inspector just left. Everything went good. I went ahead and backfilled the interceptor drain. I did put some fabric on top of it to protect it. It was just dark and hard to film that, so I apologize I didn't get it. We're expecting some rain tonight, so I just kind of took the skid steer and crowned off my dirt pile and just kind of walked it in. That way, if we do get much rain tonight, hopefully it'll shed the water and not soak it up. But not talking about a whole lot. Just really need to get this project wrapped up tomorrow. So we're gonna call it a day here, and we will catch you guys in the morning. All right guys, we are back for day 2. We got lucky. So far the rain's missed us and everything's still dry. Captain Kleeman's back from his adventures yesterday. That's a whole nother video. But this is where we're at. We got to get the tank set this morning, and we're gonna set it up over there somewhere. So Kleeman's getting a distance so we can do proper slope and pitch on our pipe, and then we'll get an elevation to our bottom of our hole. And we're gonna dig a hole and set a tank. Let's do it. All right guys, Kleeman's got us elevation established to where the bottom of this hole needs to be dug. There's absolutely nothing fancy about this. It's just dig the hole as tight as you can to the proper depth, and set the tank in there. So we'll probably dig it a couple inches fast, and then we'll put a little bit of sand in the bottom of it, just the cushion to help level everything up, make sure she sits good. But we'll get this hole done, set us a tank. said we missed the rain last night. Hopefully they miss it this morning. Still looks a little gloomy out there, but so far so good. Would you say that's a perfect excavation?
You know, I'm gonna make a prediction.
The simple answer would be yes.
Yes, but I'm gonna make a prediction. There's gonna be 23% of your comments are gonna be like, "Oh, you finally dug a hole to bury Kleeman in for breaking your mirror." Talking to you, Wayne Cruz. I know what you're gonna say.
All right, so I got a phone call, missed Captain Kleeman's awesome skid steer operating skills, but basically we got the hole to depth. It's pretty good. I need to clean out that little bit of dirt, and we're putting in about a 4 to 6 inch sand bed just to make sure that tank's got something good, level, and squishy to sit on. You're doing a good job, Kleeman.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I'll wait till the next one to bury you.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys, Kleeman's got the hole to size and on grade. It looks really good. Next thing we're gonna do is set the tank. This is kind of the system for it. There's notches right here in the tank that chain grabs in. Then we got this spreader bar built, and we put these snap boomers on the side just to kind of make sure it stays in that notch there. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, well, why don't you just have the company set the tank? Well, they will set the tank, but it was supposed to rain today. There's no way we could have got the truck in here if it did. And I just wanted the thing on site. I can control my schedule now as I can do it with the Traco. It literally takes us like 3 minutes to get this thing rigged up and ready to set. So it's just peace of mind to have it here and keep the job rolling on. Ain't that right?
Yes.
Exactly. Finally got them trained, guys. I finally got them trained. So, all right, set this thing in the hole. Alrighty, up and away, hopefully. So we got her. I guess it's important to make sure you get the downhill going the downhill way. You don't want to put it in there backwards. That would not be good.
Yep. Let me check for level real quick.
All right, guys, so we got her set down in there. We're just gonna double check now and make sure our elevation from there to there is correct, and make sure the tank is sitting reasonably level. So get the laser fired up here, see what we got. This is where we see if Captain Kleeman did correct math. Any predictions? Yep, that'll be about 6 inches of fall, so. Good job, Captain. We are good. All right, we'll get her backfilled and hooked up. All right, guys, the tank's set. The bed's all good. The next thing we need to do is this thing is required to have 12 inches of fill on top of it, and the top 4 inches have got to be something that'll grow grass or some sort of organic material. So that's why we hauled all this dirt in here yesterday. So basically, now that we're inspected, we're good. Everything's ready to roll. We're going to take this dirt and put it on top of that bed. So let's make it happen. All right, guys, we're getting close. We got the bed all covered up. We need to dress it up. We end up bringing 2 more loads of dirt in to kind of fill in around this tank. Kleeman's got the tank in and bedded with sand for the most part. That's not a necessity, but it just kind of keeps from settling. We got the pipe in. We got the pipe bedded with sand, and all that's looking good. And I believe we're ready to get this sucker covered up, cleaned up, and yeah, make her look good. All right, it's time to hook this thing up and see if it works. I hope it works. I really need it to work. That is a mean, cruel joke.
Y'all hear me cackling over here? Look at this. He can't quite reach. He can't reach. Oh. He can't dock his ship. Oh. Oh God. Well, I couldn't be happier so far. I couldn't be happier. Oh. You guys remember when skid steers used to look like that? Yeah, me neither. There we go.
I have the whole yard door up. by the time I get it off here.
It's a Harley MX-7. Must be 7-speed. Seriously though, his foot is between the tires. Who made this logo? Okay. Got it. Whew. Oh, that was an adventure. What's going on here? Let's see. Man, these are heavy duty hoses, aren't they?
All right, see if she turns.
The ground does have some play in it. I guess that's okay though.
Ooh, fancy. All right, guys, got her all power raked out. It turned out pretty sharp. That thing is going to be handy. Got a few things to learn, but I get the hang of it. I think I'm gonna like it. It's got, well, we'll cover that on another video. But anyways, one thing on these beds is I try not to go this way as much as possible, just kind of up and down and dress it up. Compaction is the enemy. So you want to do whatever you can to keep from compacting or knocking anything off grade. So I'm gonna help Captain Kleeman here get the rest of this seed and straw busted out. We'll take one last glance at her and call this one a wrap. All right, guys, there it is, all finished up. Septic system with a view. We got her. It turned out nice. The rain's starting to fall. Captain Kleeman and I are loading up equipment and heading out of here. Catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It's kind of important. Thanks.